Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi there and welcome to New Life Live. Really glad you're with us here today on a wonderful February 5th Friday. Really happy you're here. Joining me, Chris Williams and Jacqui Mack-Harris, all of us right here wanting to help you in all that you do. And what we're trying to do is provide some tried and true principles they're just based on truth. Not myth, not somebody's thought or theory, but based on what works the best with folks and is right in line with the Bible. And just trying to handle something on your own is not right in line with the Bible. Sure, there are a lot of things that we can handle, but when we come up against something and it's just too much, or we expect somebody to deal with it on their own, it's really a sin to not help them get the help that they need. The Bible says, hold back those staggering toward the slaughter. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a pretty vivid verse of what we're supposed to do with folks who are really in trouble.
Well, there's even, this simple proverb, whenever it is in your ability or power, do good to those who need it. Just do good to those who need it. Whatever your gift is, you see someone in need, help them out.
That's right. Can't go wrong there. And both the folks with me today have their own practices, and I think we're going to get to hear what they would do in certain situations. But let's go right to our phones and talk to Tony. And Tony, how are you today, and how could we help you?
I'm better than I deserve. Thank you for asking. And it's, I just wanted to say it's a blessing just to be able to talk with you folks. I was listening to you today on a previous episode, but my question is, I've been recently married. I'm 58 years old. My wife is 50. She'll be 52 here in another week and a half. Or excuse me, at the end of the month of February. And we met, and I prayed for a wife, and she had prayed for her husband. And so when we got together, we both had said that, hey, we're going to do this, and we're going to live our lives like God wants us to live them. And we both, I had made the comment. I said, honey, as long as we both stay in Christ, there's no way our marriage can fail. So here we are. We're getting to about 5 months into the marriage, and I guess I should probably first and foremost say that we have a place in East Texas, and she lives and works out of Houston, Texas. So we don't see each other, like I would say as regular. And I drive a truck for a living, so. I'm gone quite a bit, but she recently said that she didn't think we were compatible, and she wanted a divorce. And I've just been. Go ahead.
You got to be devastated over that, huh? You got to be devastated over that. That wasn't in what we talked about. We said we were going to trust in God, and I am blown away. But I know that I'm pretty strong in my relationship with God, getting stronger and stronger every day. I do practice reading the Word, and I know that if He resurrected Christ from the grave, this is not an issue for God. So I know how great my God is. My problem is with her is that she doesn't want to talk about anything. She doesn't want to. She doesn't think that I asked her, so let's go see a counselor. She was like, well, I don't think a counselor's going to help. Well, since we're talking with you, we can only give you suggestions of things that you could do, change. So while we're at this break, try to make yourself open to hearing some things. Not that the problem's your fault, but you're what we've got to deal with. So we want to do our best with you, and we'll do that as soon as we come back for this break. 1-800-NEW-LIFE if you need some help.
After I found the pornography on the internet, I said you either get help or I had to leave this household.
Every day, thousands of women discover their husband is struggling with sexual integrity. And since shelter-in-place orders have gone into effect, traffic to porn sites has skyrocketed. New Life's Every Man's Battle workshop can help.
Every Man's Battle, I fought it the whole week with my wife within 2 hours. You could have opened a book. It showed me where my life has been ever since I was a little boy.
The Every Man's Battle workshop can be a trip to the sexual addiction emergency room. During this time of social distancing, the Every Man's Battle workshop will be held online Saturday, February 6th. Find sexual integrity, accountability, and connection. Register now to reserve a place at the Every Man's Battle online workshop. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
He said, this may have saved my life.
Every Man's Battle was a life-changing experience for me and a marriage-saving experience for me.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEWLIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back talking to Tony, and as life would have it, sometimes you get married, you think God is going to bless this, and it's like it's going to be oiling the engine. Everything's just going to work great. Then you find out that you're not even the same people once you're married. It's like you meet each other for the first time, and it can be shocking. So, Jacqui, let's start with you. What are you thinking here might be helpful for him to do to turn this around? Because she sounds like she is already out the door a little bit here.
Tony, I have a question. When the two of you have a conflict, does she typically not want to stay engaged in the conversation and you want to stay engaged in the conversation?
Yes, I would say that would happen.
So
more than first of all, I guess the only time we have never had an argument face to face. Never. It's always been I love you and professing how much we love each other. It's just been great. When we get on the phones and it'll be on a topic, and if it's a topic that, I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't quite sound right. She does a lot of YouTube things, and I'm like, well, you're listening to some things and you're thinking that you're in agreement with that. But I said, but at the end of the day, what does God think about it? And that's where we can start to go wrong there.
Okay.
And
so
I want to stay engaged, and she's like, I want to talk.
Well, part of why she doesn't want to continue to talk is because you're telling her what she is telling you is her belief or her thinking at that moment isn't. Right. And so then why stay engaged with a person in a conversation when they're actually not listening to what you're saying? So it might help if you can make room for when she says, this is what I think and believe, that is what she thinks and believes. And it's okay if your thoughts are different because God created you differently. And she's not going to see the world the way that you see the world, and you don't see it the way she sees the world. There's a book called How We Love that I think would be really helpful. There's an Audible version too, so if you're driving, you could listen to it as you're on the road. But I think you might learn some things. And I know when I'm working with couples, I think it's important for each individual in the couple to find some understanding of who they are and why they think the way they think, idealize relationships or avoid certain things, and then they can come together with their partner and better understand why their partner does things the way that they do. And if we aren't trying to change each other, right? You can't make her think the way you think, and she can't make you think the way she thinks, because we need both of you in that relationship, not just a carbon copy of each of you. So check out How We Love.
Chris, what are you thinking?
I got that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, Tony, there's some fear in you, and there's some fear of who she is and how she's shown up in the world. But listen, she's 52 years old. She has decades of experience of being a human being on planet Earth, and she's developed a very particular way of being in the world, as you have as well. The way you feel, think, do, patterns. And there is something that we call an idealistic distortion. And that you have this idea that is actually an ideal, but it's not connected to reality. And the distortion is this: if you both love Jesus, you'll have a fantastic marriage.
I think that's what I was saying before.
But
that's what I said. We had both agreed that we were going to both be in, live that. And I'm sorry.
But
the thing about it is, I do agree with her that she has a right to her own thoughts and everything, just like I am entitled. But the deal about it is that if we're going to live what I think may not necessarily be true. It's true for me.
Yeah. Hey, Tony.
It's not absolutely what God. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Tony, you're going to have to resign. You're going to have to resign from being her preacher if you want to be her husband. Because I'm hearing you are her preacher. And I just think that is never going to work for you there. And here's the thing. Rather than say anything about what she believes in this early stage of marriage, I would rather you be asking, how did you come up with that? And how do you think that works? And be really curious about her and where she's different from you. Not telling her that's wrong, because that's what you're saying. You are wrong. When you say, what about God? What about what the Bible says? You're saying to her, and that's what she's hearing, you are wrong. And so if you could somehow decide, I'm not going to be a preacher anymore. Now, I have never driven a truck. I drove a school bus, but I used to travel quite a bit. And one of the things that was a problem is when I came home, if I didn't ratchet back my personality by about 50%, I was trampling on everybody back at the house because they had been living there and they weren't used to another person present. And so when you back off of Tony and you start trying to minister to her, not preach at her, then you're going to be the model that I think God wants you to be. Spiritual leadership is really important for a man to do. And you know what that looks like? If you want to lead spiritually in the marriage, do what Jesus did. Get on your knees. Be the first one to say, I'm sorry. Be the one that's up reading the Bible privately, not for show. Pray short prayers out loud, long prayers to yourself. Be the one that is humble in the home, not arrogant and right. Be the servant. You do those things, and you might see a different part of her come out. And I'm not talking about being a passive man. I'm talking about being a gentleman. I really think it's your best way to go. Chris, anything else?
Well, Steve, just to reiterate what you said, is the best leadership that we can have of anyone else is starting with the leadership we have with ourself. And so self-responsibility, how am I showing up? How am I listening? How am I attuning to my wife? Because, if you don't like that she watches YouTube, okay. But there's deeper, more important things going on underneath the surface. And that's what Jacqui and Steve are talking about, is let's get underneath the surface and let's serve her in that way. Let's serve her heart.
Okay.
And when you're praying, ask God to help you see her the way he sees her, and ask God to help you be all that he wants you to be. So we're not praying, God fix her, God change her. But what is God saying to you about how you move in the world and how you help her be closer to him, rather than maybe sometimes shaming her because she's
here's
not.
The bottom line. If you get married and a few months in your wife is saying, I want a divorce, then you've done some research here. And the research has come up saying, whatever I've done, that ain't working in this particular marriage.
Right.
Now, you can say, but I'm right, and I'm going to keep doing it. Or you could say, doesn't matter whether I'm right. What matters is, how do we connect and build a marriage back with her already wanting out? I've been where you are. It's painful. It's difficult. It's horrible. But you can do it.
I would like to say that I really humbly, to me, I'm not about trying to be right or wrong. I really am not, because I'm, I've been down where she's at. I see that. I'm like, until I put my trust and confidence in God, I typically, I would get angry real quick with somebody. I'm not patient with people. I've had to really pray about it and ask God you take over, because without you, I'm a wreck.
Well, you know what that sounds like to me? You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like to me, if she would just trust God like I do and get all this under control, then we could have a marriage. And that is a very shaming message that you're presenting to somebody that you don't want to walk out the door on you.
So Tony,
no, I don't want this marriage to end.
yeah. So Tony,
no, I do not.
Tony, let me give you one last thing. Here's what I want you to do. Here's your next step. Ask her. Sure. Tell her that there's some things that you need to work on, and that you want an opportunity to be able to work on these things, and say, please, can you put a pause on making any decision one way or the other, and give me one day. That one day is going to be February 13th, an intimacy and marriage workshop. And just say, whatever you do after that day, fine. But give me this one day, and that's all I'm asking right now. And because I think it's going to help me, but I need you to be a part of it.
Okay.
You will be shocked at how you will be shocked at how much progress you can make in winning her heart back. And that's really what this is going to take, is you winning her back. And as I said earlier, it's not going to be with preaching. It's going to be with reaching to her heart.
I've kind of regularly figured that. That's why I have my whole prayer to God all the time is, Lord, change me. I haven't asked him to change her. I'm asking him to change me.
Okay, well, he needs to change some of the things you're saying, like, well, where in the Bible would that be? Or, you need to. Okay, I think we've said enough. I hope that's helpful to you, and you hold on, and we're going to get How We Love. But I'll tell you, I would just love it if they would come, because I think that's the perfect. They got together because they love each other. Mm-hmm. There's something there. But it's being snuffed out, and we can help get it back. 1-800-NEW-LIFE if you want some information. We would love to give you information on the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop. It has saved so many marriages. Let's go to Sarah from Houston, Texas, see what's going on with her today. Sarah, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing fine. Thank you so much for what you guys do. And
sure.
Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I have a 21-year-old son who, after divorce and after dealing with, things that happened in our home with an alcoholic father, etc., who has since passed on since that time. At 17 or so, he started smoking marijuana, and then at about 19, I guess, he had an experience where he did not know it, but got hold of some synthetic marijuana, and it caused some depersonalization and derealization with him. So we've been dealing with this for a couple of years. He's been evaluated by the Amen Clinic, and we've got
what did
the
they
results
say?
Back, and they say that he has PTSD and evidence of a concussion from when he was younger, and he also has ADD. And so we've, one of the things they recommended was EMDR therapy. That was the first line of treatment.
Did he do that?
He's been doing it for about 3 weeks. But what I'm seeing is kind of a decline and increased depression, and he's taking just one antidepressant. But it's like and he really hasn't been functioning well really for a couple of years, not really.
Yeah.
He's worked, and that's been about it. But I wanted to ask, in your experience, because I know that I can't ask a generalization question and expect to get, but in your experience, have you seen EMDR improve depersonalization, dissociation? I mean, I know his case is a little more complex, it seems like, because of the PTSD added to it, but have you seen that improve things?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I think is really important. It has all to do with the connection the person has with the person doing whatever trauma therapy is being done.
That's right.
In other words, you're not looking for technique, you're looking for somebody that can help with this. They might use several different things, but you've got to have a deep connection between the two so that there's enough trust to kind of let go of some things during that process. So we'll talk more about that right after this. I'm really glad that you called.
I came into this thinking that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop will be held online Saturday, February 13th.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan and Kay Yurkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship. And then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or go to newlife.com.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of 7 books, including Growth Has No Boundaries by Drs. John Townsend and Henry Cloud, Take Your Life Back by Steve Arterburn and Dr. Dave Stoop, and the Emotional Freedom Workbook. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. Chris Williams with us right here, right along with Jacqui Mack-Harris, and your phone calls 1-800-229-3000. And how about, well, let's see.
Well, we have Sarah on the phone.
We got Sarah, and we were talking about at the break, kind of what we were talking about before the break, and that is just the need for that connection with the therapist to be really great. And what kind of help is he getting now? I mean, what do you see going on there?
I mean, he's, like I say, she's been doing EMDR therapy with him and some cognitive behavioral therapy to find out why he dissociates when he does, to see if there's a pattern to it.
Does he like working with her? Does he think it's helpful or not? What does he say when he comes back?
You know, it's weird. He doesn't say a whole lot. He really doesn't say a whole lot. He will say, he really just doesn't know. Now, you know, the first time we went, you know, she warned me that he could be processing afterwards, you know.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he kind of got hyper-focused on one particular issue that's concerning to him, which is his future, because he knows he's not where he needs to be, and he knows he can't think straight, and it bothers him because he's a very intelligent child, or young man now. But he's stuck, and and then all of a sudden he just bursts into tears.
Yes.
So it's kind of, I don't know what to do with all this, and I've read a lot about it. I've researched it. I've read The Body Keeps the Score. I mean, I've tried to do everything I can on my end to understand it.
So Sarah, let me jump in here, okay? So
okay, please.
I love hearing, absolutely love hearing the interventions and the help that you've gotten your son. I mean, there's some really, really good work here. But the essential part of the work is moving through the deep emotional experiences that he's gone through. And so he may get into some EMDR therapy, and his depression may increase because he's not medicating his depression. He's actually feeling it. And so sometimes it looks like we're regressing, but it still is progress. You know, when I'm working these deeper levels of trauma with my clients, including EMDR, I'm like, yeah, you may find yourself feeling a lot more sadness because now you've accessed the sadness underneath. That's not a bad thing. That's actually a really good thing. And what you need is support around that. As mom, what I would encourage you to do is right now, you've read the right books, you've gone to the right places, is that you don't need more information. You need more emotional capacity. Do you know what I mean by that?
On my end?
Yeah.
On my end?
Yeah, him being okay with him being
Please
sad.
tell me what that looks like.
Yes, that means when he is sad, it's okay. When he's feeling down, it's okay. That these emotions are a muscle that we're working out, that we're trying to increase our capacity, so that when sadness comes, we can just be like, okay, let's be sad. And it doesn't have to crush us, and it doesn't have to determine our future. It just is an experience that we experience comfort through. When we're mad, we can be mad, but we address the injustice or the hurt that's happening. And so that's what our emotional fitness does, is it allows us to have a deeper, stronger relationship to our emotional experiences that point us to a need that needs to be met. The end result of that is definitely strength.
So one of that,
go ahead.
It's very encouraging to hear that affirmation because I suspected that was the case, but hearing it from a human really is helpful.
Oh, good.
You know, but I think what I'm seeing is just all negative. There's no levity to any of it. It seems like, and I think that's why it's exhausting at some point.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sorry.
No, I think it's good that you called us, and I think it's good that you're told to be able to take in more of his pain, and to sometimes say to him when he's in those situations, especially after a session, I suspect you're working really hard and getting really close to something that really could be helpful when you work through that. So you're encouraging him to stay in the pain versus wanting to comfort him out of it. You don't want to be distant, but you do want to allow him time inside that pain. Not forever, but for him to see that that's how we get to the other side. Okay?
And Steve, if I can say one more thing. Okay. Sarah, I think your intuition is right there. You mentioned levity. In the midst of going through these hard, very difficult seasons where we're working through our pain, moments of levity are really important. We can't stay under the water for too long. And so having a game night or having, watching a fun movie together, whatever, some levity safe escape is actually helpful in through the process.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to send you a little workbook. It's a grief workbook and a life recovery Bible, because this isn't the son you thought you were going to have. You lost him.
No.
And I think you have to do your own grief work so that you can be there for him, because this is not easy what you're doing. But I'm so glad that you're doing it. So I'll send that to you.
Thank you so much.
You hold on. You are listening to New Life Live. 1-800-229-3000 to join us on the program. And then, well, if you need some help or you can help us, it's the same number, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'll be back right after this. I don't know what you're going through, but I know this. We've all been through these tough things. There's no simple, easy answer. Boy, do I wish there was.
Most of my life I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. Steve Arterburn here. Really glad that you're with us here today. All sorts of great things coming up. But I do want to tell you, in February, if you give a gift of any amount, we send you the Mediterranean Love Plan. There are 7 different cultures my wife and I took from the Mediterranean, like Spain. They love to play. We talk about playing and how important that is, and eating together. Of course, that was from France, and all sorts of great things. Longevity. There's a place there where people, they say they forget to die. They're so healthy. And you can be like these people from Icaria, and the whole book is full. Every one of these cultures, one of the 7, we give you 13 things to do to integrate that into your life, and it is a wonderful book. People that have used it have praised it, and my wife did a really good job on it. So that's our gift to you, our way of saying thank you for a gift of any amount here in February. Don't forget, we're on our YouTube channel, the New Life Live YouTube channel. But right now, we're going to go to Houston, Linda, and she watches us on YouTube. Hi, Linda. How are you today?
Hi, great. Yes, I do watch you almost every day, and I am really looking forward to your wise counsel right now.
Okay, well, let's hear it. What's going on?
I wasn't expecting to go on air, but I'm so sorry. I'm willing to do this. Perhaps it'll help somebody else. I'll give you a brief history. I'm in a 30-year marriage that love my family dearly. There's a lot of brokenness and a lot of deep wounds from my husband and I. So I had an opportunity, March of 2020, to separate from my husband. I told him that I hoped it was a time that we would both separate. We would seek our own path of healing and wholeness, and that perhaps we could come together so that we could work out our issues. Mm-hmm. I chose that path, and by December, he clearly did not. He was continuing to blame and shame and hold up anything I'd ever shared with him intimately and use it as a weapon against me. I love Mylan's translation of, or interpretation of, I used to call him a narcissist, but I love what I think I heard Mylan say recently, that it's emotionally avoidant. And my husband is on the farthest end you could go to with, it's all projected, it's all me, it's not him. So what happened, though, I filed for divorce in December. He now doesn't want the divorce. It got his attention, so he sought counsel. Here's my question, though. My counsel has been very good and very professional, and I'm also reading How We Love book, and I've identified lots of areas that need healing. His counsel is a female that is a divorcee. She's a licensed Christian, counselor, but he actually confessed to me yesterday that his counselor has been texting him outside of counseling. I got a huge red flag and felt like that was so inappropriate. And my question is it my place to give him an ultimatum and just say, please find someone else? This was not the path I thought we were going on. I do believe my husband loves me, but the separation and the divorce translated as hate and abandonment. It did not translate as, I need to self-reflect and figure out why my wife doesn't want to be around me. And so I'm very nervous about this female counselor.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if it's my rightful place to tell him to go seek counsel elsewhere. Someone told me I'm being the Holy Spirit in his life, and I need to back off.
Okay, hold on, because there are a couple of different issues here. Let's start with you, Chris. What are you thinking here?
Do you know what she was texting him about? Was it just scheduling stuff, or was it more personal in nature?
Yes, it was. No, he said that it was just, when are you going to make your next appointment? But that when, I think he's maybe had 2 or 3 sessions with her, and he said that she seems to be talking more personally about herself than helping him.
Okay.
And he's picked up on this.
Yeah, well, and I think that it just sounds like it's not a good fit. It's not helpful. So, and not, nothing against her or anyone else, but it actually, even before the shows today, we were talking, the 3 of us, about how it can be really difficult to find the right fit. And right now, it just doesn't sound like she's the right fit.
Yeah, I would say the same thing.
Is that my place?
Well, if he's coming to you and he's talking to you about it, he may be checking in to see if this is, is this the way this is supposed to feel? Is this how it's been for you? And so just be open to having the conversation with him. You don't have to make the decision for him, but if he's curious, that's not your experience, you can say, no, that's not my experience. And you were saying that someone told you that you're trying to be the Holy Spirit in his life. Which I'm guessing is meaning that you're trying to be the one to make the decisions of right and wrong for him, and to kind of be intuitive about what's going on in this therapy relationship. I think you could say to him, well, that's not what it looks like for me. Maybe you want to consider another therapist. You can't necessarily insist upon it because the therapy is for him. He needs to find someone that's a good fit for him. And also he could talk to his therapist about feeling as though it's a lot of conversation about her. She may be using some self-disclosure to try to establish a relationship and some familiarity. I don't know. But if it doesn't seem like it's a good fit, it's not working, then he could certainly maybe look for a different therapist, but that would be up to him, rather than you trying to make that decision for him. And you stated, rather than him taking the separation and divorce as I love you and I want you to change your life, he took it as you want away from him, abandonment and hate. And it sounds to me like you're confused about that response, when it seems like an appropriate response. If you don't want to be with him, it does feel like abandonment because you've stepped away. So maybe being more specific, and which you maybe had done, and that's why you ended up with separation, but being confused about why the divorce and separation didn't have the impact that you wanted it to have, I would just suggest thinking about what were the actions and how accurate his response to those actions actually are, right? Someone says they want a divorce, you don't take that to mean, oh, they really just want me to work harder at this marriage. You take that to mean they don't like who I am and they don't want to be with me anymore. And so as you're doing your work, maybe consider what is it about you that is not working in the relationship in conjunction with him, and how can you guys partner in making some shifts so that you can both be who you are, and forgive for a lot of the things that have happened in the past, and try marriage 2.0 going forward, rather than trying to continually go back and undo all the things that have happened in 30 years, because you can't go back and undo it. You can love and you can forgive, and then you can figure out a way forward.
Now, let me just give you a little thought here. We suggest sometimes when you can't get somebody's attention that you go ahead and file for divorce, and you did that, and you got his attention. So I think it wouldn't be inappropriate for you to say, I really filed for divorce because I wanted to see if anything could get you to stop the path that you were on, and you said you didn't want a divorce. But now you're seeing a counselor, and for whatever reason, you told me that she's texting you, and I don't know if it's scheduling or if it's a little too much. You say she's revealing so much about herself. I think if you want this to work with you and me, I'm going to have to be the woman that you have the relationship with, not in a therapy session hearing about a single divorcee's life. So I don't know. Maybe there is a decision to be made here, but it doesn't seem like this is the path you want to take back to my heart. I am open. I am here, but you're going to have to show me that you want to be here too. Nothing wrong with that kind of conversation. You're just sharing your feelings and your desires. And if you could just clarify with him, there was part of that filing that was to see if you cared at all, ever. And I think you've said that. Maybe I didn't honor that enough. I didn't think about it enough. But what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do? You say, well, I'm going to counseling, but that's not, that doesn't seem like it's very healthy. Doesn't seem like it's right.
No.
So now what are you going to do?
He'll tell me. Right.
What? What will he tell you?
He'll tell me, I am willing to do anything. I have it in text with an exclamation mark. But I keep telling him, but your actions aren't showing me anything. And I asked him, please define what anything means.
No. Here's the only question is, when he says, I'm willing to do anything, then you say, so what are you going to do? What have you decided is going to be helpful? What are you going to do?
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Shelly Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is being held online Saturday, February 27th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back, and really tough situation. You're talking with Linda, and how do we want to close this off here with Linda? I mean, I said some things there. Anything you guys want to add or subtract to any of that?
I have a thought, Linda. He said he's willing to do anything. And so I think you should sit and decide what anything is, because you're looking for something. You need to see something to know that this is going to be better. What is it? What is your heart desire? If you sat with yourself and asked, what am I feeling right now? What do I need? What would that be? And then tell him. You said you need to go to therapy. He went to therapy, and that's not helping yet. So is there anything else that would help heal your heart? And if so, share that with him, and so that he can make an effort to move towards completing whatever that is.
All right. I'm really glad you called, and I'm going to send you How We Love also. I think that could be a really big help to you. And I just wish both of you could come to our Intimacy in Marriage intensive, because that's where things like this make dramatic turns. I hope you'll look into it. I hope nothing could be more helpful in a day than that. All right, let's go to St. Augustine, and let's talk with Madeline there. Hi, Madeline. How are you today?
I'm so good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Oh, no. Okay, sorry, I thought I disconnected you. Oh, so much. But the lady that answers the calls and tries to help you formulate the question is amazing.
Oh, how did she do? What is your question for us? Because we're almost at the end of the program.
What's the question? Did she give you one? Because she formulated it better like an hour ago. Basically, my family has been oppressed by the local authority over the last couple of decades, quite honestly. And I definitely am one of God's soldiers. I'm all about love. That's it. And unfortunately, we have been in a position where I'm their sole. I have two daughters, 12 and 18, Aria and Shine, and they both have Australian fathers, different ones. And I'm the sole caretaker of my 85-year-old mother as well.
Well, what kind of oppression is happening there? When you say oppression, what's going on there?
Oh, just lots of legal entanglements. Like, they've even arrested my 85-year-old mom for not turning up to court for some ticket that she had, you know. But that, it's just, there was some corruption probably within the county and the system here with the police authority due to, like, probably greed, I think. I don't know.
Okay.
I think,
well, you know that we don't...
kind of knows how to work through them.
You know we can't do anything about that, but what could we help you with?
Of course. I need to do it. You can help me. Please help me figure out how to have the confidence and gain more confidence to continue to not let I don't even know how to word that. Like, basically, the enemy win with all these games. Like, every obstacle that I could encounter has been thrown in front of me, and I usually jump over it. But I'm kind of thinking, like you said, you can't do it alone, and I'm doing it alone, basically.
Okay.
And it's now infiltrating into my family. Like, my children, my two daughters, and my mom loves me so much. But
let's see if
me like I'm crazy.
So
it's hard to keep up the mission.
So Madeline,
Mm-hmm.
it's it, not you. It does sound crazy.
It is.
Okay,
crazy.
now what is the?
It is crazy.
Yes, but listen to me, okay? So if I'm going to help you, you got to listen.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. I really want to.
The crazy part is the fear. You are.
Wait.
Okay, so listen. You are fast. You are furious, and you are chaotic.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm enthusiastic, though. I'm enthusiastic with God.
Well, there's a lot of enthusiastic chaos going on inside.
There is.
Okay.
There is.
That is driven by fear. Okay. I want you to
hear. Is that the opposite of love?
You nailed it. So here's what I want you to hear clearly. Your enemy is not out there. It's not the authorities. It's not all these other things. The enemy is fear itself.
Okay, but how can I keep helping my family if they keep arresting me?
Well, you can't help anyone else until you go get help for yourself.
Well, I have been, but
it's really good news for you.
I sound paranoid.
It's really good news.
God's got it covered.
Yeah, but it's good news because you can do something about you. You can't do anything about the law, really, what they're doing. And if your grandmother's not paying the tickets, then whatever they're going to do. But look, Chris is giving you the most hopeful message ever. You need to get some help. Now, here's the question. Okay,
but they're trying to pump me with antidepressants and anti-seizures.
No, you know what?
Absolutely.
They're not trying to.
My house.
Hey, they're not trying to pump you with anything. They're trying to give you something that could help you to think clearly. And sometimes it takes several different approaches until you can find the right medication for your problem.
But false chemicals. This
Madeline.
I know. I'm just letting you know.
Madeline.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Jacqui.
Yeah.
So you want the question is, how do I keep my family going without a man to direct me? You've been keeping your family going, but it sounds like it's been a little chaotic. And you said you're trying to get help, but if you resist the help, then things maybe won't change. And chemicals aren't all bad. You know, God created intellect and advancement in medicine so that we can get the help we need. So sometimes when you're praying for healing, it's going to come in the form of that little pill that regulates your chemical imbalance, and so that you can think clearly and not get yourself in trouble with the law and manage the household and be responsible with your daughters. So if there is help out there for you in the form of medication, sit and pray and think about, what will it take for me to relax enough to give health a shot? Because if you don't give it a shot, then the answer to your question is, I don't know. Because the help that's being offered to you, you don't actually want. But that is what is going to help you. You need to have something that can help you slow down and focus, and so that then you can make the choices that are in your heart.
Now the question is, do you have the ability to make choices for your life to get better? Because all of us believe you're going to need medication for your life to get better.
I am on it.
Okay.
So I am on medication is what I'm saying.
But I would say this, that you might need a different medication. And you need a psychiatrist
I need God to help me ask you what kind of help I can get from you.
I would go back to my psychiatrist.
Okay, so Madeline.
No, there's no psychiatrist.
So
no money for a psychiatrist.
So Madeline, hear what Steve said. So God directed you to talk to us.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Go on.
Let me give you a secret. I've taken antidepressants and they've been incredibly helpful.
Exactly, and these have as well. And
okay, so stay with a psychiatrist who specializes.
I can't afford that.
Okay, well, you can even look in your local area for resources that can help you. There's resources out there.
Help me what?
Get to a psychiatrist. Get to medical interventions that can help just calm your heart and your mind.
We are out of time. I'm glad you called. I'm going to send you a copy of Take Your Life Back. I hope I'll send you a Restoration Bible also. Hope that'll be helpful. Thank you, Jacqui Mack. So glad you're with us here.
My pleasure.
Chris, thank you for being here.
Good to be here.
Thanks for all of you who listen, watch, and all that.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.